Hey everyone, welcome back to OneRoomOver Gaming. Today I am continuing my Let's Play of Crimson Gray, Dusk and Dawn, and last time, whoa boy, there was, we found out Aaron was gay, and then some crazy girl, probably a Koi Tech baby, went on a killing spree, and if you guys watched that episode, you remember that face, and woof, that train was off the tracks. So anyway, Lizzie and John are discussing, how this might affect, how this Koi Tech situation and with the murder, and there might be a tension, how it might affect their future. So the question posed to us from John: forget about it for now, search for information, or train to prepare for arrival. If I don't train, will it affect the gameplay later? Like, will I be slow and weak? I'm gonna search for more information. That seems like the best idea. Don't forget about it, but let's not jump to conclusions. We need to learn more. Whatever happens, it can't hurt to get more information. I suppose that's true, and it's not like we were overworked anyway. Talk to Aaron, maybe, and check out the computer lab. Okay? Yeah, let's do it. Though normally Lizzie would have been happier to stay inside with him, given what had just happened, it was soothing to learn more. They only learned a few new facts, but they kept the tension within her at bay. She glanced at John with concern, hoping that all their activities hadn't been too much for him, but he still seemed fine and smiled back at her. As she fell asleep, Lizzie tried to ponder what this would mean for them. All she was sure about was that she wanted to face it at his side. Yeah, what is this gonna mean? Where's this going? Several days later, more information had come out, and everything was far less clear. The facts of the Wernos incident were overwhelmed by rumors, theories, and other chaos that muddled any potential message. Lizzie was absolutely certain in her interpretation, but she obviously was keeping that to herself. The girl's name was common knowledge now, and her face was represented by both a very normal-looking yearbook photo and her grin from the video. The exact order of events when she had killed 12 of her classmates was still argued over, adding to the conspiracy theories. It was unclear why she had done it, and none of the evidence offered struck Lizzie as correct. She was actually a little curious what the girl's reasoning had been, but ultimately it didn't matter. At the moment, Lizzie was writing up some of her thoughts in her notebook. The incident had set her imagination on fire, so she'd used the notebook more lately, but she'd let John see much of what she did, and then they'd been able to talk about it, which amplified the soothing effect. Now, though, she was finished and feeling restless. Lizzie glanced at the clock and got up to pace a little. John was currently at the computer lab, another part-time job he had taken to reduce their debt. This one was also usually easy, he said, but tonight, allegedly, he was going to be playing games with some other people. Okay, including Aaron, which made her a little uncomfortable. She knew it was irrational, but she hadn't pushed too hard. But John knew she didn't like it. He'd promised that soon he'd start withdrawing a little more to spend time with her, but hadn't specified exactly when. Lizzie decided that it was time to go visit him, not just to check on him, but because she might as well see what everyone was interested in. Games didn't particularly interest her, and John hadn't played many because they were expensive, but there was a group on campus setting something up called a LAN party. Ah. She made her way across campus at speed toward the lab. She was anxious, no point denying that, but it was a low-level anxiety she could swallow without doing any harm. Computer lab. Inside, she found things a little different than expected. Each person at a separate computer. Maybe she had been thinking of consoles, with everyone together on the same couch. This was reasonable and seemed like the kind of thing John would like. Though almost everyone was utterly fixated on the screen, John looked up and smiled when he saw her. She immediately moved to stand behind him, one hand on his shoulder. The screen seemed to be from the point of view of someone running through corridors carrying a gun. There were other numbers, presumably the statistics related to the game. So, this is the game? Yeah, it's pretty fun playing Overland, but I doubt I'd want to play too often. There he is, there's Aaron. That's normal, right? I mean, there are a lot more important causes in the world, but you can't be focused all the time or you'll just end up useless, you know? Lizzie could be focused all the time, or at least she should be, but she nodded. It was true for John, at least, and one of the ways she needed to protect him. Sorry if I'm distracted. After the match, He cut off as someone else appeared from around the corner on his screen, abruptly moving his mouse and hitting keys much faster. Lizzie found herself briefly concerned for his avatar, but fortunately, it was the other players who collapsed, the little human image spurting blood. That's not very realistic. That prompted a strange eyebrow from Aaron. Well, it is a game. So the winner is the person who kills the most people? More or less. The timer is... Whoa! Once again, the game sucked up his attention, so Lizzie stopped distracting him and just stayed behind to watch. Oh, look at this! There's a happy moment between the couple. She's getting into the fact that he likes to play a video game about killing people. She's like, I know how to help with that. If she could play the game with John like that, Lizzie watched his hands and the gameplay. Reaction time seemed to play a part, and she'd be good at that, but the actions necessary to move and fire seemed very artificial. She wasn't sure she'd be able to adjust to them. Oh, you can adjust to anything if you want. Of course, she wouldn't want to play against John, even if his character was just a little soldier that didn't look like him. She also wasn't sure she wanted to play with this group. A few were staring at her with a look that made her set her teeth on edge. Only John got to look at her that way. Things went well until John's avatar came under heavy fire. Abruptly, the screen pulled back and she saw the little figure collapse in a shower of blood. John had been killed? He winced and muttered to himself. Raw hatred surged through Lizzie as she realized that one of the people in that room had killed him. He popped back up a second later, but she barely noticed, scanning the other chairs. Was there any way to tell which username connected to the person who killed him? It's a game. Let it go. But as things went on, John killed them back several times. He got killed again, and the surges of hatred faded. It was just a silly little avatar after all. John was fine. Yeah, he's right in there. He's in front of you, playing a game. If she could kill people in real life and do no harm, would she? The idea kind of excited her, but she decided not to explore it for now. Before too long, the match ended. If she read the screen right, John did well, in the top third of players. Considering he had less time for games than many other people, she was very proud of him, giving him a quick hug from behind. I'm so proud of you for being a good little game player. He swiveled around in his chair to face her, smiling. You just came to watch? Do you want to play? I take it you just came to watch. I take it. Do you want to play? Oh, I don't know about that. It doesn't seem quite like my sort of thing. Did you know there are serious people blaming the Warnos incident on violent video games? Oh, yeah. Oh, anytime something bad happens with the younger generation, it's all the video games or the rap that we listen to. Shaking his head, Aaron swiveled to face them. It's not just a few crackpots either. I hear a lot of people saying that's because of violence in our media, calling for all kinds of societal change, so long as they're superficial. I don't think you're going to overthrow the status quo with a revolution, Aaron, but obviously I will agree all the campaigning against violent video games is misplaced. I don't know, man. I think we're past the point where incremental changes can accomplish anything. You saw how the pharmaceuticalists just spun the incident to give them even more power, but it was a Koitek town, so who knows how many drugs might have made the situation worse. The two of them went back and forth, arguing mildly. It interested Lizzie a little, but was more abstract than she preferred. She drew up a chair and got involved to prevent some of the unpleasant people from coming closer and trying to talk to her. It seemed they were taking a break in between matches, several people taking the time to go to the bathroom or get snacks. For the most part, it seemed like a decent group, so Lizzie didn't mind John spending time with them. The break didn't last long, not nearly long enough for John and Aaron to resolve their disagreement. John glanced at her, but when Lizzie smiled encouragingly, he felt he participated in the next match as well. Oh, look she's smiling! Here we go. As she watched, Lizzie got more of a natural sense for the game. But that actually took her out of the experience. Oh, Jesus. Digital murder. Achievement. Cool. In the game, there was no way you could tell if someone was behind you, no sense of the environment or easy way to keep tabs on the scenario, and the blood effects were really sort of silly, not realistic at all. Yet she felt a little intrigued. John had mentioned that computer graphics were always getting better. If there was a game that looked more realistic and let her use knives instead of guns, she wondered if it could be fun for her. Not the same as killing people, but... I mean, an outlet's an outlet. When they finished the next match, John got up to stretch while Aaron glanced towards them again. You're really watching intently. You sure you don't want to play, Lizzie? No, that's okay. I don't really like guns. I'm more of a knife fighter. Haha, fair enough. The kind of crazy violence isn't for everyone. Finished stretching, John glanced over her, for a moment just considering, then he nodded. I think I've had about enough for today. You want to head home, Lizzie? Okay. You two take care, okay? Alright. They left the lab and walked back together, taking their time. John seemed to be contemplating something, so Lizzie just kept pace alongside him and let him think until he was ready. Aaron is a good guy, but I don't think we're ever going to agree on some big things. Everything we were talking about with changing society, you mean? Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, maybe we'll see the FDCA change and the entire industry will be transformed, but I kind of doubt it. History would have needed to go differently years ago. I agree with you, John. That's a shock. Maybe that's fine. He'll go his own way and organize protests and things. I'll see if I can't do more within the system. Maybe both approaches are necessary. They'll take us in completely different directions, though. Do you mean you aren't upset that I'm uncomfortable around... You aren't upset that I'm uncomfortable about Aaron, are you? He looked at her with slight surprise in his eyes. No, not at all. I was trying to say the opposite. It looks like our choices in life will mean that we spend less time together regardless. Ah, I understand. I'm glad you're not upset. Just thoughtful. It's strange how choices you make at the beginning of life can take things in such different directions. It's like, is there another version of me who follows Francesca's path and works for the FDCA? Another one where I join protests? One where I forget all about it and just take some other job? Interesting. And it was interesting, but Lizzie didn't like the idea. She liked this John, the one with her. She liked herself and the singular relationship they had. John noticed her slight frown before she could think to hide it, but Lizzie decided that was fine. You seem troubled. I don't like thinking about other versions of myself. A Lizzie who never met you, or who somehow didn't love you, or... I don't want to think about those. Oh, you don't have to focus on the depressing possibilities. What about a version of you where we escaped Koitek entirely and just lived happily together? That idea did bring a bit of warmth to her heart, even if it was a fantasy. But a moment later, Lizzie realized the true potential of the concept. She could always stay with her John and make the best decisions, but she could imagine all the paths not taken and enjoy them too, just adding more facets to relate to their relationship. I like that, John. I really do. I'm glad. And I just wanted to say that even considering every possible future reality, I want to be with you in all of them. Oh, that's so sweet. No. Lizzie latched onto his arm happily and squeezed him for just a moment. Me too, John. All the alternate reality Lizzies want to be with you too. Well, now we're getting into straight science fiction. I'll get into some science fiction. The two of them explored that topic as they headed back, sometimes speculative and sometimes just silly. Lizzie was happy to discuss it and brimming with happiness by the time they went to bed. There were so many other paths in life, but it would always be John and Lizzie, Lizzie and John. Forever. Good night. Alright, Lizzie had been having a good day until she went out to get their mail. It contained their usual financial statement from the college, which normally she looked at dutifully but didn't particularly care about. Nothing was wrong, technically. Their account was in good order and all the payments were as expected. What bothered her was that their debt had only changed by the usual amount. John had been working so much more. Shouldn't it have gone down? To be sure she wasn't making a mistake, Lizzie went to find their previous statement, in a box with the others since John was always so organized. Yes, everything was just as she remembered. Odd. Chewing on her lower lip, Lizzie began looking around their home, checking alternative possibilities. The cash they kept at home was about the usual. There hadn't been any expenses she neglected to consider, and no mid-semester textbooks. Then where had the money gone? That is a great question. Her first thought was a fear that they had both been robbed somehow. The second was that the university was cheating them, but she discarded both of those quickly as they would have had other consequences before now. That left the possibility that John was intentionally hiding something from her. Slowly sinking onto the couch, Lizzie chewed one of her fingers and rolled the knife around her other hand in an exercise that was usually soothing, but not this time. There was the possibility that he'd wanted to buy something for himself. He hadn't had his own computer for the game, maybe it was that. But if that was true, why wouldn't he have mentioned it to her? Did he think that she would ever deny him anything? That was possible that he was gathering it for some kind of emergency or even to leave. No, surely not. She couldn't live without him, and her John would never do such a thing. But if not, why? Why? Realizing there was blood trickling down her finger, Lizzie removed it from her mouth. She paused a moment, stilling her knife, then took a deep breath. Let it go. Confront John about it. Investigate. Okay, guys. What am I gonna do? This is a weird one. What the hell could be going on? Why would there not be getting any money? Hold on. Sorry. Let it go. Confront John about it. Investigate. I don't know. I hate all these options. I don't really want to be confrontational. I feel like being investigative is kind of like underhanded, but I can't just let it go, can I? No, letting it go can't be the right answer. So what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? If I investigate now, then I might confront John about it later, after having learned something that I maybe might upset me. But if I confront him about it now, he could lie. And I could get upset. What do I do? 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 Oh, shit. I can't save! I can't save right now. If I would have known I was about to be confronted with a choice... You know what? I've been doing so good going like on the straight and narrow, like talking to John and stuff like that. I feel like it's time to just deviate a smidge. I'm just gonna investigate. Though it was likely nothing, Lizzie decided to keep watch just to be sure. Even if John had nothing but good intentions, after all, it was possible that he was making a mistake or someone was taking advantage of him. Over the next several days, every time she had a free moment, she kept watching him. Nothing out of the ordinary happened, though it did seem like he might have almost noticed her presence one or two times. Eventually, it was payday, and she made an excuse before tracking him when he went to the campus financial office to get paid. On his way out, John removed some of the money he'd been given and placed it inside a small packet he carried with him. He had quite a warm smile on his face. Lizzie twitched from where she watched, uncertain how to take that. She almost wished that she had let them get more involved with the banking system. At the time, it seemed a risk, but now she had no way to track cash. After a moment, Lizzie realized that there was significant blood running down her finger. She stayed still for a moment, then slowly licked it off. Her only choice was to trust John. He was her special person. He would never do anything to hurt her. Never. 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 Lizzie rushed home to clean her finger and greet him, shoving everything deeper within her. It's getting rough. It's getting rough. Things are getting weird. For several weeks, Lizzie resolutely refused to worry about anything, instead showering John with as much love and affection as possible. He seemed a little surprised, but he responded warmly as if everything was fine. So everything was fine. It would have to be. Maybe he's just making donations to help, like, to a cause. You know, like a FDCA group or something. I don't know. I just want to think the best. Focused on him, Lizzie paid little attention to the news. It didn't matter. All that mattered was the two of them. Until one day when that wasn't true anymore. We're about to shake it up. Lizzie was... Oh! No! Is she pregnant? No! Holy shit. Lizzie was returning home when she heard voices inside. She just... Okay, hold on. Wow. I was getting a little ahead. She just liked that, but it wasn't too far out of the ordinary. Speeding up to hear better, she realized that it wasn't anyone inside. It was the television. John occasionally had to turn the news on while he worked, but it was uncommon. She most likely wouldn't even need to tell him to turn it off, so she opened the door with a smile on her face. What is she greeted by? It's just John. Inside, she realized this was not a normal situation. John had a textbook on his lap, but it was forgotten as he stared at the screen. Lizzie hurried to sit beside him and figure out what was going on. Been approved for widespread use. Koitek representatives said that demand is likely to outpace supply, but the corporation will increase production in an effort to provide the devices... Oh shit, I clicked too fast. Devices at cost to government and educational institutions. John, what's happening? Congress rushed through an act in response to the Wuornos incident. They're blaming it all on her, saying that increased measures need to be taken to prevent such people from killing anyone else. A hollow cold began to slide through Lizzie's body. She sat down beside John, but he provided no happy warmth. He was an ally against what she knew was coming. What kind of increased measures? Pharmaceutical lobbyists had their hands all over the act, so it's going to be increased medication. But that's no... He cut off as the news anchor transitioned to something else, which proved to be Francesca Kelsey making a prepared statement. Though all our hearts go out to the families of those who died in the tragedy at Wuornos, we must be careful not to take the wrong lessons from this terrible event. None of us will ever know what went through the killer's mind, and we still do not know all the facts surrounding the case. Furthermore, many of the suggestions show a troubling over-reliance on hormones and chemical markers, already a failing of many corporations. There is a danger of seeking simple answers instead of finding solutions that will... Her words dissolved into a meaningless hum. Lizzie knew that calm words advising caution wouldn't have any effect, not when others were panicking and demanding action. She felt slightly guilty for being suspicious of Francesca when she was on campus. What does the act actually do? They haven't talked about all of it yet, but it sounds like there will be increased funding for various measures designed to prevent violence, ostensibly. John took a deep breath and was surprised to hear the shudder in it. This was hitting him hard, risking increasing his depression. Lizzie drew him closer to her, stroking his hair, but she knew that it couldn't change the facts of the situation. Sounds like they're reducing the requirements to move drugs through testing, including on younger populations. Another channel had Kelsey on as a guest earlier, and she was saying it's basically the opposite of what she wanted to do for the FDCA. Is that what you were about to say earlier? No, that's not the worst part. At least not for us. Are they going to start forcing meds? The technology Koitek uses to detect hormonal balance has apparently been improved, and they're going to start distributing it more widely to detect problems before they occur, or so they say. Lizzie bared her teeth slightly, eyes narrowing. That technology had been what detected John's depression and made them give him that awful Paxitine. It had also accurately detected that she wasn't like other girls. If she had been tested in a social environment like this, who knows what would have happened to her. It would have been better if we could kill them all. John glanced at her, but she shook her head determinedly. I know we can't. I know it's too late for that anyway, but they're coming after us. It would be better to eliminate them first. Do you think they'll do widespread testing to try and test everyone? I don't think they can do anything without someone's express permission, but parents will probably get their children checked. There are still restrictions on medicating in children, but... Do you think they'll come here? Probably not. Presumably, cities will adopt it first, and it will take much longer to filter to rural areas, but it would happen eventually. Many things would be changing, and there was little they could do about it. I feel small. These events happened so far away, without us being able to do anything. I preferred the last problem. I could decapitate that one. Her joke didn't even get a smile from John, which made Lizzie's heart sink. She understood why it was having a big effect on him. She just wished she could do something about it. I don't know, Lizzie. I just don't know. This is going to get bad. Society isn't going to change overnight, but this is just the beginning. Things will keep changing. John, are you alright? I'll manage. It's just painful to think about the future right now. Everything we've tried to do here was useless. Lizzie pulled him closer, let him rest his head in her lap, and spoke softly and soothingly. She could see the depression descending over him, and though he clung to her and didn't drown in it as he used to, it was the worst incident in a long time. With John like this, she didn't want to force him to go through with the wedding. Not like this. It was only being postponed. She was certain of that, but she wasn't sure when it would finally happen. For now, all she could do was comfort her John. Okay, that's a good... Stop. That's it? What? 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 No. What, is that the end? I was about to stop the video. Is that the end? No! That can't be the end of the game. That can't be the end of the game. Is this like a... What the fuck, man? What is gonna happen? What is going on here? No! There's gotta be more. There's gotta be more. Hold on. What? What the fuck? That can't be the end. That can't be the end. What the hell? Is there gonna be more? Oh, that's the biggest slap in the face in history. Okay, this has gotta lead into something. Maybe there's another game coming out. I don't know. I've never... Oh, come on now. This is ridiculous. Are you kidding me? This is just a big cliffhanger. You're just gonna leave me with that? Are you kidding me? Oh, bullshit. Oh, that's such crap. Oh, that's garbage. Come on, dude. Okay, well, I guess that's it. There's the end of the episode. I was about to call it anyway, but a game called it for me, so woohoo. Well, alright, so I guess maybe we're waiting for another game. Thanks everybody for coming back to One Room Over Gaming. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, you know where I'll be. I'll be right here, One Room Over, playing games for you. So have a good day, have a good night, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone. See you later.